when you feel so drawn to what you do and to helping people, as energetic human beings, we feel that. When you don't love what you do, we feel it. Okay, so if your brain is saying, this is what I've been told is the most profitable, or this is what I've been told I should do, or based off of market research, I should be doing this, but it's a full body no, and it feels like it's pressured, it feels like you're forcing it, I can guarantee you that is not going to create a sustainable business that feels good. It's going to create more burnout, and you're only going to be focused on the money. And when you're only focused on the money, you are truly missing the entire beautiful journey of your company. Welcome to the Jamie C Show. I'm so happy that you're here. Today's episode is so juicy. And for every single person that is doing some kind of one-to-one work, I'm going to help you navigate exactly the process of understanding what topic you want to take out of your one-to-one work and put into a digitally accessible offer, something that you can offer to people in different countries that you may not even step foot in, and be able to make as much impact as possible. I have been creating online courses since 2016, and I've taken part of my one-to-one process in my service providing aspect, which I will dive into in a little bit. And I really want to walk you through that process that I took, and then how to actually listen to the difference in your body. Because there's so many times when people are trying to create some kind of passive revenue stream, some kind of accessible education for people, or a process in which to not exchange their time for money. And oftentimes the first thing that they think is, what is going to be the most profitable? How am I going to make the most amount of money? And I will tell you that that is the first question that is going to kick you out of alignment. Before I dive into the actionable steps that we're going to take to get you to be able to take the perfect piece of your one-to-one work into an offer and put it online for many people to experience, I want to bring you back to the journey of when I did it myself. So I want to take you back to 2016. I'm an active hairstylist. I have a very new baby. Little Charlotte was only like four months old at the time. And I remember being able to go out on my own. It was the first time I was like opening a business. Okay. So now I'm actively doing hair on my own, running my own business, renting a chair, and I'm making all the decisions in my business. And I decide, okay, at this point, my main goal at the time was to build a one-to-one client base. If you're unfamiliar with any kind of commission style when it comes to hairstyling, it's essentially, if you don't have a client in your chair, you're not making any money. So if a client cancels last minute, unless you took a deposit, there's no revenue coming in, okay? So the more overflow you have, the more of a larger clientele you have, the more backup you have. If someone cancels last minute, you can kind of call somebody on your list, get that in, okay? So now that was the primary goal for me, was mainly to build a clientele. And then at a certain point, I'm fully booked out. Okay, I'm booked out 6 months in advance. I've got a young baby at home, and I'm doing all of the things. I'm doing all of the one-to-one work, buying all of the inventory. I'm booking all the clients. I'm marketing myself. So basically the one-stop shop. That's what I'm doing. And there comes a certain point, well, as I'm building the clientele and I realize I'm fully booked, there's no more capacity for me. I don't even really want to be able to market at this point to bring more people in, but I still want to be visible and I still want to share the work that I do, just in case there's a wait list that I can add to it. So kind of unintentionally, I start sharing more of what I'm doing, not really realizing that that was actually going to attract more hairstylists than actual clients. And I ended up kind of stepping more into the educator role and actually teaching people what I was doing behind the chair. So I was teaching balayage, which is one of the things that I was doing on my clients that I loved the most. I was doing highlights with foils, I was doing haircuts, I was doing blowouts, I was doing curls. But the thing that made me the happiest, the thing that made me feel most artistic was actually freehand painting. So when I was sharing my work online, I was sharing the thing that made me the happiest. I wasn't sharing the entire process of my entire step-by-step, how I booked clients or how I rebooked them or how I charged for them. I was just sharing the things that I loved, which in turn, when you are sharing one specific thing, you start to be known for that specific thing. And when you start to attract more people that are trying to learn that one thing, you start to be known as the person that is most knowledgeable, or not, I don't want to say most knowledgeable, but at least knowledgeable in the realm of other people that are also potentially doing that. The one that people gravitate towards the most. So I started getting other hairstylists that would actually ask me like, hey, would you be open to teaching my team in person. And that was like the first time that I was ever asked to do something like that. It was really interesting because I think for me, I had never really taught another person hands-on, but if you know anything about your girl, I'm scrappy as all hell and I'm going to figure it out. So I said, "Hey, yeah, let's go." I just like was like, okay, we'll just do like $50 a person. Like, here you go. And I drove all the way out to Boston. I'm from Connecticut. And I taught them how to do it. And I recorded that process. And then I put pieces of that online as well. And then other people were like, oh my God, I want you to come and travel out. I ended up like traveling all over the country. I was in like Georgia. I was in Florida. I was all over the place. So I was fully booked. And then I started just teaching in person. At that time, it's now 2016. And it's now not really as well known as it is now is online education, right? Where you're making something accessible, like YouTube trainings weren't a thing, right? We just didn't have as much access to the type of education that you would have gotten in person. And I remember saying to my first employee at the time, Ashley, who was helping me book all my clients, reschedule my clients. She was like the first employee I hired to be able to get some of the responsibility off me so that I could focus on the other things that I liked to do. And at that point, I decided, okay, how can I help other people? Because people from all over the world were reaching out to me. I'll never forget, there was a woman, she had DM'd me, she's like, "Hi, I'm in Paris." And I'm like, what? I was like the first moment I realized, I'm like, oh no, like you're not just reaching the people in the United States. It's like you literally are having global impact just by posting what you're doing. And I'm not going to leave my baby to go travel the world. Like maybe a small trip on the weekend to teach a salon, but in the States, right? Maybe like a small weekend trip, but I'm not doing that. It's not something that I felt comfortable doing. No shame if that's something that you want to do. Totally fine. But I had this kind of moment where I'm like, how can I make this accessible for people everywhere? So I remember sitting down with Ashley at the time. There's very little at this point to do with online education. Like we were getting really scrappy. And so we figured it out on how to host it, how to do all the things. And I remember when it came down to it, I go, okay, it's time to build out a curriculum. Like I want to teach one piece of what I do so that it's the foundational component for them to be able to get the best results with this one thing that I'm teaching. Now, I could have taught everything from how to market, how to get your clients in the chair, how to have conversations, how to communicate, how to upsell, how to sell retail, how to rebook them, how to get add-on services, how to triple your revenue, referral programs, blowouts, toning. Literally, there's so many aspects to the job that I was doing every single day. But at the end of the day, I needed to figure out what is the thing that I could talk about every single day, whether or not I'm getting paid to do it. Like I want to talk about it because I love it. I light up about it. Like I'm endless knowledge around it. It just makes me so happy. And so obviously I'd already been showing up sharing balayage. So what I did is I actually created my first ever program called Balayage Badass, which is, if you know anything about me, I love alliteration. So BB, it was fun. And I remember hiring my sister, who is a photographer, and she did a little photo shoot, and I had these like little brushes, and it was just so fun because I remember it was like the first time that I was like, I have no clue how to do this whole online education. It was so brand new to me, but again, I'm the type of person that it's like, if I don't know how to do something, I'm going to learn. I'm never going to stop myself from knowing I could help people across the world just because I don't know how to do something. Like, I'm going to figure it out. Like, the internet is available. I'm sure other people know how to do it. There's other brains. It's not just my responsibility to always figure everything out. Like, there's so many other people that are knowledgeable, and I just have to be brave enough to find a solution and implement it. So at that point, I decided I'm going to create the education and curriculum around the fundamentals of balayage. So that anyone that was new to it, basically what I would be teaching in class, like the baseline curriculum. And it was one piece of what I would teach so that they could then practice it and implement it. And it was a clear transformation. You're going to learn how to do this so that anytime that a client comes in, you know, if they're a person that needs balayage, how to apply it, who's not a candidate for it, how to process it, like the whole in-depth A to Z on one small process. And that I could say over and over again, like it's the back of my hand. Like I know it even years down the road, and I don't even teach balayage anymore. I could teach anyone walking in the door right now how to do that. And it's because We've simplified one process instead of saying, here's how you're going to build your clientele in 6 months, and then also the consultation process, and also how to do your books, and how to rebook them, and how to properly time. It's too overwhelming to a consumer. It's too much to be able to put that out there unless it's a high level, high ticket person, someone already trusts you. That's more of a process that I would want to do in like a mastermind, or something that I would want to do in like a 6-month program. I want to be able to make something as accessible as possible, as easy, no-brainer as I can, and make it so clear that somebody knows immediately when they go to that sales page, they know exactly what they're buying and they know exactly the transformation. So now, with that being said, that whole process from building my community, them knowing that I specialized in balayage, wouldn't it make the most sense that after I did that, they then understood, oh my gosh, she's teaching what she only teaches in person to me, and I get access to it at any time of day from the comfort of my own home. I can rewind it, I can pause it, I can implement it, I can download the worksheets, and I can keep it for as long as I need to revert back to. That right there made 6 figures in 1 month. It was unbelievable because we had given them also 3 tiers to choose from. So we basically had said, if you just want the entry, easy breezy, here's this. The next thing that you can do is kind of get the next package or the next package, which is the higher one. I'm going to tell you that probably 90% of people chose the highest package, mainly because I had already built trust with them online. I was talking to people, communicating with people. I was in the DMs. I was actually building real relationships. And that's the key thing that you want to focus on whenever you're offering anything is you're not just putting a course out there. You're not just selling something. You are helping someone in a capacity. And the best way to be able to get them results is to care about what you do and to care about them and to care about their results. So when you're moving into the process of choosing your topic, I want you to think about your one-to-one process. So for me, I took one-to-one process that I was working on with clients and pivoted the audience to the people that would be best served to implement that on their clients. So it was a pivot for me, but within the same realm, right? Now, if you are already working on one-to-one clients right now, and it's either in a coaching facility, a service base, I want you to think about when you take a piece of that, whether you are pivoting to a different niche that would best be served for that. Like, for example, if you own a gym and you want to teach people who are aspiring gym owners, right? You want to teach them the fundamentals of starting a business or starting that type of situation. You would want to take your expertise as a gym owner that's best for clients, and then you want to pivot that education to speak to the people that it's best used for, which is aspiring gym owners, right? So that's one example. If you are somebody that's already doing coaching, if you're somebody that is already doing some kind of service and the niche isn't changing, the audience isn't changing, what you want to do is start to look at one thing first. Before I tell you the exact A to Z, I need you to be really honest with yourself about the processes that you do. Because I can guarantee you there's a part of your process that you're like, it's necessary to get them from this to this, but I don't really love that as much as I love this. So what I want you to do is I want you to break down the transformation that you help people with. And I want you to think about it like your past maybe 4 or 5 clients. I want you to look at their transformation from A to Z. And I want you to see if you can break that down into almost like chapters. First, I took them through this. Then I took them through this. And then from there, I took them from here, so that you come up with a few chapters of how you get people from A to Z. Then I want you to ask yourself very honestly, and take as much time as you need with this, is what part of that process, number one, would be most beneficial to somebody needing this transformation to start with? And what piece of that do I love the most? That I could picture myself sitting down at a cafe, having a cup of coffee, and just rambling on about to a friend. Maybe going out for a cocktail, and a stranger comes up to you and they ask you what you do, and you're like, ah, la, 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 and it's about that one topic. It's just, I love it, I love it, I love it. It's endless. One thing that you just cannot shut up about and you love so much. I actually recently did this with my community in the broadcast room, and I asked them, what is one thing that you just could not shut up about? I mean, it was like subconscious mind, health and healing, hormones. And it was just all of these amazing things that people just felt so lit up about. That right there, that one thing that you love so much, that is the thing that makes you most profitable. It's not the thing that you sit and say, what is going to make me the most amount of money? What should be the most profitable? It's the thing that you love the most. It's the thing that makes you the happiest. Because at the end of the day, when you feel so drawn to what you do and to helping people, as energetic human beings, we feel that. We feel that from people. When you don't love what you do, we feel it. When we feel like a transaction, we feel it, right? So we also feel when you're lit up around something. We also feel it when you care. We feel it when you love what you're talking about. That is something that is not even spoken, but it's felt by people. When you're aligning to the thing that makes you the most amount of impact is the thing that you're most lit up about. And thinking about how you can take one of those pieces, and then that is what we put into a program. Because what this does, why we break one thing down versus giving everyone the full A to Z, is number one, you want to think about anyone that you're marketing to. There's going to be a lot of people who want to get a quick transformation. Big transformations take a lot of trust building. Big transformations generally also take a lot of investment and a lot of time and a lot of self-trust and a lot of self-faith. Oftentimes that's with someone who already is really, really ready and somebody who really trusts you. Now, when you're diving into a smaller piece, you're making your work and your transformation, a piece of your transformation, accessible for people who either cannot afford one-to-one, prefer to self-learn, and want a quick win. That's generally what we want to start with. It's also for you a lot easier to market than a full transformation, because when you are marketing, you have to market that full transformation every single time, versus taking a piece and being able to break down all of the marketing angles from that one piece and then leading someone into a no-brainer situation. The likelihood of the conversion rate increasing from that is tremendous, and also it's a lot easier for you to market. So when you're leaning into taking a piece of your one-to-one work and putting it into a program, I want you to remember that that is felt in the body first. It's a heart space that you have to tap into, and that's being out of the head and into the body. When you are creating something that is meant to help transform people, that is a body-based experience, and the decision always lives here first and not here. Okay, so if your brain is saying, this is what I've been told is the most profitable, or this is what I've been told I should do, or based off of market research, I should be doing this, but it's a full body no, and it feels like it's pressured, it feels like you're forcing it, it feels like it's someone told you to do it, I can guarantee you that is not going to create a sustainable business that feels good. It's going to create more burnout, and you're only going to be focused on the money. And when you're only focused on the money, you are really, truly missing the entire beautiful journey of your company. Because truthfully, the journey should feel really juicy and fun the whole way through, instead of what can I do just to make more money? How do I make more money? I want you to ask yourself, how can I help more? How can I be of service? Because the answer is here. But if we're searching here and we're searching outside of ourselves, the answer is going to feel further away. I also have a free masterclass in the show notes below that you'll be able to dive into, where I go much more in depth on this process so that you can actually see it broken down and how to actually create a curriculum that is easy for your student to get the best results. Because often what I see is so many people jam-packing their courses with a library of education, which creates much more overwhelm for the student. And it also creates an increase in the lack of finish rate for people. So they're not going to actually move through and get the transformation that we want. So we want to make that as easy as possible for people. So the process is streamlined. I want to say this process is fairly simple, but the most important thing that you want to focus on is the mindset and the nervous system around this, because strategy is running 5% of your business success, and 95% are the thoughts that you think and the conviction that you have around the work that you do, and your level of being able to receive the reciprocal energy that this passive revenue process requires. Because if you are used to only getting a win from your output, this is going to be a new space that we actually have to regulate to. Oftentimes, we get an exchange of someone buys something, we work with them directly, we feel this sense of my work is tied to the one-to-one, and that's how we feel good about receiving the actual exchange in monetary, right? What you're actually stepping into is, how can I receive more overflow, and also just because I'm giving my heart and the love that I have for what I'm doing. I hope that this was really helpful. I hope that you were able to have some light bulb moments, and I'm really excited for you to dive into the workshop and to be able to implement even further. So thank you so much.